What's up, everybody? Thank you so much for stopping by the channel on a very special episode because today, this is our very first ever listener-requested episode of Flix and Six.
Yes.
So we're pumped.
Yeah.
I mean, more or less. I mean, the movie kind of sucked, but we're still pumped anyway.
Which, Veronica DZ?
Yeah, shout out to Veronica DZ. What's up, Veronica? Thank you so much for leaving that comment.
Yeah.
We watched Don't Knock Twice.
Yes, we did.
And we're about to talk about it. Coming up. All right, welcome to the show, everybody. Today we are going to be talking about Don't Knock Twice, which is a movie ambitiously trying to tell 19 stories at the same time.
It was a lot.
It was directed by Caradog James.
No idea who that is.
I have no idea what it means. And it was written by Mark Huckerby, starring Katie Sackhoff. That's kind of rough growing up, huh?
You said it was written by?
Yeah, Mark Huckerby.
That sounds familiar.
Does it? Let's look him up, dude. We're looking him up on the air. He wrote Peter Rabbit. That's probably how you know
I've
him.
never seen it.
And I know, that was sarcasm. Nothing. Nothing, dude.
Okay.
Nothing.
It just sounds like a...
Kids movies.
Oh.
Dude, this is the problem with this movie.
Yeah.
Listen to this IMDb, dude. Thomas...
Train.
Thomas and Friends, Tales from the Rails.
So yes, Thomas the Train.
Yep. Thunderbirds. Shaun the Sheep.
That's why I watched Thunderbirds when I was a kid.
Oh, is it really?
Thunderbirds?
Yeah.
The one, yeah.
Scream Street. Oh, you know what, though? He did write Thomas and Friends Carnival Capers. So there's some action there. Maybe that's how he somehow ended up writing Don't Knock Twice, the horror movie.
Okay. Random.
Anyways, Michael, sum up this fucking plot, would you?
Oh, man. Okay. So, it's hard because there are so many different storylines, but
What was it supposed to be?
it was supposed to be this woman and her estranged daughter reuniting. Because I don't want to give away any spoilers, but I'll leave it at that. Reuniting, and then the daughter getting haunted by a demonic force of some type, and then they try to survive. I don't know. Yeah, that's it. that's really about it. Like,
so
that's it.
That's it. Right now, Veronica, if you're watching.
Yes.
And
Hi.
to everybody else who's wondering, hey, should we watch Don't Knock Twice? I want to do something. I want to start doing letter grades. A, B, C, D, F.
Okay.
Right?
Can I do plus or minus?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
But then
right.
it's kind of like 5 stars, right? But like rating something 2 stars, you're like,
no,
okay.
I like it.
But with a letter,
like
we know more. Okay, so let's just grade the film, and then let's riff on it. I know my grade already.
Go ahead.
I'm going to give it a D+. plus.
I was going to go C minus.
Okay.
So ours are very close.
Yes. Now, in this very first comment, which we're obviously pretty pumped on, the question was, can you watch this fucking movie so that I potentially don't waste 2 hours of my life?
Don't watch it.
Don't watch it. That's from both of us. Because here's the thing. Even though it comes in at like an hour 34, I think, which is kind of nice because I feel like everything's fucking 2 hours now.
Which they don't need to be.
They don't need to be. I mean, if it's like a Chris Nolan movie or Star Wars, okay, or like Avengers, fucking make it 3. But something like a horror movie, hour and a half, But don't watch this movie.
No.
And we're about to jump into spoilers.
Yeah.
So if those of you at home are like,
Spoilers.
but Jeremy, Michael, I really want to watch Don't Knock Twice, cut out
Bye.
now. Like, subscribe, hit the bell, get on your couch and watch Don't Knock Twice.
And come back in about an hour and 34 minutes and agree with everything I feel like we're about to say.
Amen. Okay, so here's why.
Oh, we're getting to right now.
Let's just
okay.
fucking
All right.
get
All right.
in there. Okay. First issue with this movie. You did a great job summing up that premise. Being that there's 19 other layers below it. Now, here's my main beef, okay, is that we're talking about a mom whose name is Jess.
Yes.
a daughter whose name is Chloe.
Yes.
And Jess is a recovering addict.
Yes.
And she was fucked up, and she put her kid up for adoption. Or no, put her into a foster home.
Yeah, home.
Or something.
Yeah, it was a home.
And then Chloe, the daughter, and her buddy Danny like go to this house that they've already been to, that they already know is fucked up.
Yeah.
And they knock twice, even though they're not supposed to.
Once to wake them, twice to raise them or something like that.
Once to, I have it here.
You wrote it down?
I did. I figured it.
Once
okay. Once to raise her from her bed, twice to raise her from the dead.
Oh,
and
that's
then,
catchy.
And then she comes knocking for you. Okay.
Oh.
Now here's the deal. That sounds sick.
This could have been really sick.
And that's my beef.
I know.
Right. Is that I love the supernatural ghost, template, if you will.
Yeah.
But this movie it kind of lost me within the first 10 minutes because Danny, the guy who brought Chloe to this fucked up house where they're knocking on the door, right? He's like, hey, Chloe, go knock on the door. And she's like, why'd you bring me here? You know, I hate it here because Michael disappeared here. And he's like, oh yeah.
Sorry. Didn't mean to upset you, and hugged her.
And then hugged her. But it's like, bro, if
that would never go down like that.
If like this is a place that once upon a time in my life I experienced trauma, right? And this is the kid who was there with me experiencing that trauma.
Yeah.
Chances are pretty high he wouldn't bring me back to that place. Don't you think?
Yes. But I also think that they were kids then, and now like pretty much
they're grown-ups.
They're grown-ups, and I don't know if it meant to be like this malicious thing but still she went.
Yeah, she went.
How do you not know you're on the way to this fucking scary place and being like, oh, I know where we're going. Let's maybe not do this. But they literally got all the way there.
Right.
Went up to the door.
And knocked.
So if you're really that traumatized by this place, you wouldn't have knocked the door knocker twice.
And you wouldn't have gone there in the first place. And I think that's like kind of my beef. Is that
right.
And I know
I see what
like
you're saying.
You have to, with horror movies, you have to be somewhat accepting of people's stupidity, right? Like you're not supposed to answer the phone. You're not supposed to go to the door. You're not supposed to go into the basement, but people do, and that's what we like.
Right.
Right. But still, just tell me the story of, like you can tell me that story, fine. Right, like the little catchphrase, wants to
I think that's really cute.
That's cool shit, right? But like, give me a more believable premise than like, yeah, we've been here. So, anyways, I'm getting off of here, but
the movie did not start off on a good note. Like the first 15, maybe 20 minutes, I was like, this better not be how it's going to be the whole time, and it didn't.
It didn't.
It got.
But you did call the ending.
I did.
Because
kind of
like 10 minutes in, Michael looked at me and he's like, God, this better not be one of those movies that has like another movie inside of it.
Oh yeah, no, I did call that.
Yeah. And then it totally did.
Had
right?
like 3 other things that you can totally make it into an entire like sequel, prequel, like moments for sure.
And it's like, dude, like for a horror movie, you can't make us think there's going to be a sequel. Unless you make the stakes really fucking high and unless that movie is super good. But it should be good enough within that hour and a half that even without the notion of a sequel, the story still works.
Agreed.
And this movie did not do that.
No. It was no Conjuring. It was no Insidious.
Nope.
In my opinion, those have been the best horror movies
100%
in the last probably decade.
Check this out. I wrote a note to Veronica DZ.
Oh.
Okay? And I said, like halfway through it, I was like, look, turn this shit off. Go watch The Conjuring or Insidious. James Wan is the fucking man, and only he can do this.
He's so great.
And the reason that those are so good, and the reason that he is so good is because there's 2 types of horror movies when it comes to the supernatural, right? Those that are extremely creative and give you a story worth telling.
Okay.
And those that follow a very stereotypical template that follows beat for beat the same kind of story that every one of these other fucking cheesy ass horror movies has. Mm-hmm. And this, unfortunately, was the latter.
Yeah, I mean, obviously I agree. They There was no wow factor.
No.
It was just like, and I said something near the end. I was like, if you've seen Apostle, whatever you want to call it, it's a Netflix original movie, I believe.
It is.
It is, yeah. Near the end, I was like, oh, this is going exactly where Apostle was going with like the whole dungeon and lair and like the demonic lady. Obviously different setup, but like it was, and I know this isn't a Netflix movie, but it might as well should have been.
Yeah.
You know, it's like it had like a semi
and
B-list actress.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, well,
but I feel like she's more famous than that.
I know.
Anyways.
I do too. But the thing that sucks is like, okay, so the plot just does so much dumb shit. Like, basically, her and her daughter are like, you know, estranged. So there's one layer, right?
She never said mom.
She never said mom. Fuck you, you know. But so they're estranged, and then that's one layer, right? Another layer is that she's a former addict, right? Another layer is that it's like a whodunit, right? And they bring in like the detective. Right, to like, you know, because every one of these movies needs a fucking detective, right? Because everybody saw Halloween and they're like, you know, where's Dr. Loomis?
Right, that seems like a bad guy, but then ends up not being the bad guy.
Yeah, and it's just like, God, dude, every fucking turn, I knew what was around the corner.
Yeah.
Now, what I will give this movie, though, is that some of the jump scenes were pretty good.
They got me.
Like,
there were a couple that I was like, oh, like I jumped. Like the one where out of nowhere it was like demon in your face. I was like, okay, that got me.
Yeah,
that got me good.
That was a cool little gimmick because you know, usually
I like Jumpy.
Yeah, I love Jumpy. I love it when I jump so much, like I'm embarrassed about it after. You know, like you're like, I didn't fucking jump, you know?
Yeah.
But there was only 2 of those for me in this entire movie.
Yeah, maybe 2, maybe 3.
And like the way those scenes went, where the lady's like crawling down shit, or the hands come out and there's blood.
I didn't like that.
Yeah, it's like, okay, but you're not James Wan.
Yeah,
Right?
it
Like,
was
just
no
make
like
something different.
It was no like red faced demon like out of nowhere like crouched in the fucking corner like broad daylight.
Yeah.
And like his hooves and shit like. I don't know. That was like done perfectly to me. This was just like old, mummified, saggy black skin, old lady titties hanging when she's crawling.
Oh God, they didn't have to do that, dude.
That was so
had
fucking
these,
funny.
Like weird. Oh, dude.
They're literally like flappy pancakes, like attached to like the like actresses or actor's body.
Yeah, and Michael didn't notice it until I pointed it out.
I didn't.
I was like, yo, why they gotta put these old like black titties on this thing, dude?
So funny.
And then once you see it, you can't stop. Like,
no.
That's all you see, dude.
If that was a real person, like that is a tiny human being. Like,
yeah, I don't know.
Do you think that was a real person doing that?
Yeah.
Like that thing was
It was a little
small.
Yeah, it's like if, you know,
Maybe it was a kid.
Maybe. But it's just
Anyways.
like, yeah, so there's that layer. So there's like possession, there's like missing kid, there's detective who may be the bad guy, may not be.
Tira's also
like,
another story.
Yeah, Tira, this like lady who like has really no relevance except for like kind of propelling the plot.
Well, I think honestly, she set this whole thing up because
she did.
And it was just like all ironic. Like at the time, Tira did not know, or did she? Because there were cameras at the fucking little house. Maybe she knew that Jess's daughter Chloe knocked on the door, so she knew she was already in for it, and she knew obviously her and Chloe were close because she's like doing this whole sculpture. Maybe if she knew all that, which we don't know, because she's the one who put the necklace on her, like when she was holding the baby. Oh no, she did know because
she did know.
She was like, "Oh, you and your daughter are gonna be great." She said something about her daughter, so she knew.
She knew
that she was trying to get her daughter back. So that's really the only way I can think of. Like it was literally all her doing, in some form. But it was all up to Chloe because she had to knock on the door. But maybe that was like, "Ooh, I know who you are, bitch. I'm gonna set you guys up." And now I'm going to pass along to your fucking mom.
Yeah. I guess, like, for me...
That's a sequel or a prequel I would watch. Maybe.
Well, but the thing is that, like, it could... If they had just picked one fucking story to go with...
I know.
It could have made a cool movie. And it's, like, to me, like, one of the only horror movies that really does the 3-act, 3 stories kind of thing is Martyrs. You ever see that fucking movie? Oh, dude.
I don't
You'd
think so.
remember.
I don't know. Obviously not then.
Yo. If you guys want like insane horror, watch Martyrs, man. It's a French horror movie, and the French
maybe
dude.
that's why.
Oh my god, the French do horror so good. But it is fucking terrifying.
Oh, I'll have to check it out.
Oh shit, dude! Like I've only seen it like 4 or 5 times. The number should be 1, but it's 4 or 5 because I keep telling people to watch it, and then they're like, "Oh, we should watch it together," and I'm like,
You
"Fuck!"
get stuck into watching
And then I have to watch it. It's
Well, we should watch it.
yeah, dude, it's fucked up. But anyway, this movie didn't work for a lot of reasons. Telling too many stories at the same time is definitely the number one.
Honestly, can I tell you my biggest beef with this movie?
Tell me.
The music.
Oh, dude, the music was bullshit.
It was too much. It wasn't okay. Let me say this: it was too much, and yet not enough at the same time.
Yep.
It was so constant throughout the entire movie. Like we had the subtitles on, and it continuously almost said every scene eerie music continues, gets louder. So I'm all for that good, super high pitched eerie music shit when it's appropriate. There's literally points where people like Jess and her husband are just having a normal fucking conversation, Ben, and the music is playing. And I'm like, dude, it's all about context. You can't just throw an eerie undertone music, whether how soft or loud it gets in each scene, and hope that it makes your movie scarier.
No.
Because that's that music that get people like, ooh, something's about to happen. That's that instinct, right? And I think that's what killed a lot of the movie for me, was because it was just a running on fucking like melody, eerie fucking tunes. But that's what really killed my horror movie boner.
Yeah, dude.
With that.
And it's like it kept pulling me in at certain parts that are
Or
like,
it's
oh,
not.
this will be some scary shit, and then it's
nothing.
like,
They're eating soup.
yeah, they're eating soup, and they're like, and Jess is like, yeah, I mean,
It's carrot and coriander.
yeah, I make like cool sculptures, but my husband's like a really rich banker, and you're
Right.
like, what? Why?
Right.
Like, why is that? Why does that fucking matter? And then they're like,
I like that banter.
I did too, but he's
they're
such
talking
a
about the
throwaway
yeah.
character that it's like,
Yeah,
dude,
that's
make
true.
him the fucking bad guy, you know?
Oh.
You know, like the evil banker that's like,
He's the slave?
yeah, and he like knew that Jess and this kid were fucked up, so he like
I'd actually be
baited
okay
him.
with that.
Yeah, me too.
That would have been a lot better.
Yeah, it would have been a lot better than literally it's just like The Ring or It Follows,
That-
right?
yeah.
Where it's like a demon just kind of passing down the line. Like people
Yeah.
keep forwarding the emails, so they keep getting fucked up in their lives.
VHS.
Yeah, like VHS, right? God. See, but that's the problem. That's the problem. Like It Follows was super unique.
Yeah, it was.
It was super unique with incredible cinematography, right? So you're like, oh my God, this shit is dope. You know, VHS, like, I mean,
No, let's not go there.
that's bad, but
It was pretty bad.
Like The Ring, like all those, they're great because the plot unravels. You find out as much as the characters as the movie goes on.
Right.
But in this one, you're like, I already know what's going to fucking happen.
It was predictable because of things that they put right in front of you.
All the whole time.
Yeah, it's like, got it.
They're like, yeah, and this kid went missing, and that's why she's mad. And then the very
No
next
shit.
scene, you get a delivery of all the things of why the kid was missing, and like Tira planted it all.
Yeah,
but
well, which we found out, I was like, wait, because I literally wrote that. I was like, what? How in the fuck? Wait, why in the fuck was the box with flash drive in studio? Which it was like, okay, yes, it's like, it's there, it's given to you, like, oh, guess what? Because it literally goes from Tira being like, oh, if you listen hard enough, she'll tell you. And then it goes to a statue piece in her car, and then it goes to the box right by where this old statue was. And it's like, it's just like breadcrumbs.
Yeah. But like the most obvious breadcrumbs there could ever fucking be.
Yeah, a breadcrumb like as big as this fucking can.
Yeah.
If not bigger.
They're like, hey, you're watching this movie, right? Here's exactly what's happening, just in
know.
case you didn't get it. And it's like, dude,
know.
we're watching a fucking horror movie.
I don't want to know.
But it makes so much sense because this guy wrote kids' movies. He's used
It
to
does.
spelling it all out because his audience up until now has
It
been
makes sense
fucking
now.
toddlers.
I wish I would have known. I'm actually glad I didn't know that until now, because it does help help me wrap my head around why it was done the way it was done, obviously. Because if you're making Thomas the Train fucking movies, of course it's going to want to be like, okay, kids, like, guess what happens next?
Yeah.
Thomas the Train ate too much ice cream and now his stomach hurts. You know?
Yeah.
Like, no shit.
And that's
got it.
And that's exactly how this movie felt.
Yeah.
So that's all I got, dude.
I took notes, but there was no reason for it. C minus.
D plus for me. This is a hard avoid. I can't say I recommend this movie. I can't recommend it to anybody.
No.
It's a waste of an hour and a half.
I will personally never tell anyone to watch this movie.
Nope.
If someone's like, "Oh, have you seen, Don't Knock Twice?" I'm like, "Yeah, don't watch it."
Yep.
That's going to be my immediate reaction. It's
no.
not worth your time. Worth your time.
See, you're stuck on how bad it was. It's not worth your time.
Not worth your time. Yeah.
All right, y'all. Well, that's our take on Don't Knock Twice. Veronica DZ, thanks for the comment. Don't watch this fucking movie.
We'll tag you.
Yeah, go watch The Conjuring. Yeah, go watch fucking...
And it's on Netflix. There's literally no reason to not watch it.
The Conjuring,
like,
there's your answer.
I can't watch it anymore because I've seen it so many fucking times. It was a great movie.
Mm-hmm.
Great movie.
Or watch Sinister. That was another good one. Another kind of like
either one of them, one or two.
Yeah.
I can go on about horror movies forever. Or any of the Insidiouses except... The third one. Yeah, the third one was... No, The Last Key. That's what... the last one.
The last one.
That one was... That's not fine. The original trilogy, though. Dope.
Okay, so that's our take.
Yeah.
And we will see you guys on the next episode. What are we doing next? We're doing...
The thing with Kevin.
Oh, yeah, we're doing...
What's it called?
Hold the Dark.
Hold the Dark.
With Kevin Mallon. Our dear friend Kevin is going to be in the studio, and that's going to be something
Malone.
else. I'm just telling you
Kevin,
right now. This guy's fucking nuts.
It's going to be loud.
It's going to be loud. It's going to be... I don't know. It might be kind of weird, but also awesome.
I can't wait to just sit across from him and watch him. Don't expect me to... I mean, I'll obviously talk, but like I just want to observe him the whole time.
It'll be the Kevin Mallon show for sure.
Yeah.
All right, you guys. Well, have a good one. We'll see you guys next week.
See ya.